like to put a lot of apps on my phone. I found Hot Wheels. No, because it's what we like to do, like at night when we get home from work, is go back and listen to the
Yeah, I'm sure you
the
do.
recording channel meetings. Just trying to keep
So
it
if we
good.
go over, I just want a better item. Who's here then? See Mr. Zacher left on. Who's here for whom? And what percentage owner interest each person has that they're voting on?
Well, Unit 10 is president, so then I'll just recap everyone.
What percentages too?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Unit 1 is represented by 39.5%. Unit 2 is represented by 6.25%.
Okay, hold on. Unit 1 is present here.
Yes,
Okay.
39.5. Unit 2 is present with 6.2%.
And who's
2.5. I'm sorry, what?
6.25%? And who's that?
James Busker.
Mr. Buskirk. Okay.
Unit 3 is not present. They represent 4.25%.
And who's that?
Sam's Amusement.
Okay.
Unit 4 is present with 4.25%. That's Ed Wamboldt. Unit 5 is present with 8.3%, which is also Ed Wamboldt. Unit 6 is not present, which is Sam's Amusement with 7.3%. Unit 7 is present by proxy with 10.4%. Unit 8 is present by proxy with 6.25%. Unit 9 is present by proxy with 2.1%. And then Unit 10 is present with 11.4%, total of 100.
Thank you.
All right, so there's a quorum established. Before we move into the next agenda item, which is retiring of the current board, I think everybody saw kind of the email correspondence for the reason for this agenda item, but, you know, just to reiterate and get it on the recording of the history of how this all kind of occurred with the board members is when the receiver was in charge of a majority of the units here, he felt it was more fair to give some representation as far as decision making to each of the other unit owners. So I think, you know, it was kind of done in good faith. But as additional units took over, it's become apparent that we really need to follow the actual declaration bylaws and having the proper board in place. So if any legal issues did arise, which we've seen could arise, that the authority of the current board couldn't be questioned. So that's the reason for that. So what we're looking for is a motion from one of the members to retire the current board.
I move to retire the current board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
And Tom, just so you're clear, you're voting to oppose for your 10.4% of your client? Is that who you're voting for?
Just be on record that you opposed.
I just want to know, is that who you're, on behalf of your 10.4% for
Who else
units?
would I be able to vote for?
I didn't catch the first part if you were here represented by proxy and anyone else, that's why I was just asking. Is that true? Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, we went through the roll
Yeah.
call that he was present
Okay.
by proxy. with
Okay,
2.5.
I just checking, just wanted to make sure I was on the same page.
Can I ask what was the original board?
The original board would have been the receiver for Palmer Bank or whoever it was. It would have been Christina, Buskirk, Tony. So it called for a 3-member board, so it didn't make sense to have like one person not be on the board and outcast them. So they put everybody on the board. When other units sold, we kind of just followed suit to that decision made by the receiver and put an additional person on the board. But it could be challenged. So we're going to follow the conduct docs the way they're currently written, unless once we get a current board in place and there's a meeting to amend them properly, then, you know, that could also be done depending on what's in the best interest. So then the next agenda item is nominations from the floor. We haven't received any nominations in writing, so we're going to open it up to nominations from the floor.
I have a question before we do that. since we're going all by the book, and everybody's gotta be paid on their dues to be present to a meeting, that's the way I read that, is that correct?
Well, that's, yeah,
Before
so
voting?
everybody, there's nothing in the documents right now that's defines what's in good standing or what's not good standing, and it also doesn't identify anything in the docs that someone who is delinquent loses any voting rights or
Okay.
rights of the association.
There was a bunch of scuttlebutt going on, and I wanted to clear that since we're on the
Yeah,
record.
saying that, there's currently no member that's over 60 days delinquent.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so,
good. Just wanted to make sure, because there was some, talk about it prior.
yeah, there was, so that's why I put it on the
Right,
agenda
right.
item, which we can discuss that, but that's gonna probably be a non-discussion item at this point. So is there anybody who's nominations from the floor?
I'll nominate Tom in a row.
You can't nominate.
No.
I'll second it.
I'll nominate Jim.
No.
No, you don't want it?
So how does this voting vote? Does it
Yeah,
go back?
by unit owner, how are you gonna do
Okay,
it?
so this is a special membership meeting, so at this meeting, and at every annual meeting from this point on, unless the declaration's amended, the voting is done by those percentages. Okay, you're electing a board of directors to run the affairs of the association. That board has specific responsibilities, collecting the assessments, maintaining the property, approving architectural approvals, whatnot, a typical board. So that board's gonna meet, when that board meets, each board member is then given one vote as a board member.
I nominate the unit owner, unit number 1.
Can I nominate Chris?
I'd like to nominate Chris as well.
No? Okay. Alright.
Christina?
And for Christina too. yeah.
Christina, nominate
I'll
Christina.
nominate Christina.
Okay, Jeff, do you accept your
Yes.
nomination? All right, so we need one more nomination.
So what about like Tony and Bruce?
Yeah, can I make a phone call and do it that way over the phone? Does anybody have a problem with that?
Tony doesn't want nothing to do with it.
I'll do it if you wanna nominate me on it.
I mean, I was gonna nominate Bruce.
I'll nominate you, Ed. I would too. I'll second it, whatever.
You accept the nomination?
Well, your question of what's wrong with nominating?
Yeah, I guess my
Yeah.
question doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah, why
I
can't
mean, you
you?
can still nominate him.
Yeah,
But
There's-
you have to accept, doesn't he have to accept it though? Cause I
Yeah,
did.
if he gets voted in,
Yeah.
there's only 3 spots for nominations.
But I
so
nominate,
therefore-
I nominate Bruce Guntis
and Bruce is the unit owner of
of Sam's Amusement, which
Sure.
is the 2 units.
units 7, 3, and 6.
What's Bruce's last name?
Dentis, Dentice, I believe.
And then Ed Wamboldt.
Does anybody have objection of somebody being nominated, that someone isn't here or able to accept the nomination?
Nope.
Guess worst case scenario, he gets elected and he resigns. All right, so, looking for, is there any more nominations from the floor?
So as I understand it, there's 4 nominations, Jeff, Ed, Bruce, and Christina.
Okay, I'll ask a second time, any other nominations? Look for a motion to close the nominations,
I move to close.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, nominations are closed, we'll go ahead and distribute the ballots.
So you get 2 because you have 2.
Oh, yeah.
Richard, you only have 1 unit? Yeah, you only have 1, sorry. And then this will be Sam's,
Sam, so we should have 1 ballot.
2.
Yeah,
They have
we'll do
2
2 units.
Should we just want to put our unit numbers down?
Yeah, cause I have to line.
No,
it up.
no, I meant.
Oh, you wanna write your
For
name, the
names,
actual
you want names
person.
or,
Yeah, it's gonna be the
or,
actual
pe-
person.
or the unit?
It's
You
just
gotta
the
Person's
vote.
name.
Yes, you gotta vote.
'Cause-
Okay, well,
You
because,
gotta vote for whoever.
Well, just your name, because
'Cause-
2 people for nomination own 2 units. So
So we're voting for 3.
you're just voting for a
Vote for
person
Christine.
on the
What do you
board.
Christina, how do you spell your
How do
name?
you spell your name?
KRI.
You don't have to vote,
STINA.
you can't vote for more than whoever you want.
You can't vote
Yeah.
for more than 3 of Jeff Miller, Bruce Dentiste, Christina, sorry, Ochoa, and then Ed Wamboldt. So vote for 3, but at the bottom, please indicate the unit number because your vote is weighted.
Bruce, how do you spell your last name?
Miller.
Miller. Christina, how do you spell it?
I didn't just put Christina.
Uh,
There's only one Christina, so I'm gonna go.
There is only one Christina too.
How long do you expect this meeting going?
Not long.
No.
Okay.
You could be in 3 places
Oh
too.
my god.
Shit, I was at a meeting at 7 o'clock this morning in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And they had highway, or 60th Street all tore up. I waited for the stop sign 6 times before I finally got to go through it. For one person at a turn, you know what I mean? There's one lane,
Yeah.
they're doing the sewers, I'm like, oh my god. The rope in the back of the truck was looking pretty good.
You busy? I know it's how many hours you put in, like,
I think probably what, 60?
really?
Yeah. We have 4 other managers and.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay, so I can total up the numbers, but based on the results, it would be Jeff Miller, Bruce Dentiste, and Christina.
Anybody wanna re-add it up?
Nope.
Nope, it's fine.
I'm good.
Okay, we're gonna keep the ballots in the,
I'll still total it, but just based on.
keep it in the association's records if anybody does have a question on it. All right, moving on to the next topic, it was an adoption of a unanimous consent resolution, which, I think we can just, table that and let the board decide it, but basically, some things that have come up in the past couple months, I think the board should consider doing is number 1, adopting some sort of collection policy, which says if a member of the association does become delinquent, here's kind of what's gonna happen at 15 days, 30 days, 60 days. And then they're gonna, when you're gonna suspend their voting rights, and that all attorney's fees and other expenses incurred trying to collect that debt also gets charged back to that member. It would also go on to say, the same thing would go for any enforcement of any violation. And also that if any member of the association brings claim against, if any member brings claim against the association or sues the association, that if the association prevails in that lawsuit or claim, that they also would be reimbursed for all of its costs and expenses, including reasonable attorney's fees. So we try and have a lot of associations pass that to avoid, because really as a member of the association, when you sue your association, you're kind of suing yourself as a percentage of the association, so we try and avoid that. So can I get a motion to remove that agenda item?
So
Move the motion to move it.
Second.
Move it.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 opposes.
It's the end of the agenda, so, according to Robert's rules, we don't need a motion to adjourn, since the agenda is complete, the meeting's adjourned. Typically what happens next is the new board, meets quickly for a quick board meeting to elect the officers, and then we schedule the next official board meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.